Hi, my name's Harmon. I'll be presenting for INF 499 Senior Seminar for the video presentation project. My chosen topic is Google's social networking platforms of Wave, Buzz, and Plus. Let's see how this goes. So, to start off, I'll go through a history of social media. We can arguably say that 1985 may have been the actual beginning of social networking with BBS and IRC for local area connections and switches, but that's a whole different topic. And for the sake of this presentation of social networking and graph platforms, we'll go with big social media platforms such as 6 Degrees, AOL back in 1997, both of which have two different aspects. 6 Degrees was a profile-based system, much like Facebook today, and AOL is instant messaging. It was sad to see that 6 Degrees only lasted from 1997 to 2001, but during that time, it opened new doors for other startups to begin and create their own social networking platforms. And AOL was instant messaging, and it lasted for the longest time and was only shut down this year. But what I believe was bought out by Verizon, but that's another topic. But during that late 90s, early 2000 times, by the year 2000, 100 million people already had internet access, and digital interaction was a commonplace. 2003, MySpace and LinkedIn were released. This demonstrates the huge contrast and evolution in social networking and social media, where MySpace was for the more casual, typical savvy user, and LinkedIn was for professionals. 2004, Mark Zuckerberg and his colleagues at Harvard University released the Facebook as a local social networking site, but due to its popularity and outside investments, it was later released as Facebook as we know now in 2005, and it's been growing ever since. 2005 and 2006 was a trend of instant messaging, and Twitter was released, in which for instant messaging on the go, instead of having you have to log on a computer and full on write a full page whatever post you want to write. Twitter was convenient. It was mobile platformed already for the earliest cell phones at the time, at that time of the mid 2000s, 5 and 6. And for Twitter, the only requirement was that it had to be 140 characters or less. In 2007, Tumblr released its own version of that, however, as pictures. And for the sake of our presentation, let's begin on the main course. So, in May 27, 2009, Google Wave was announced at the Google I/O conference. It was a developer release only at first, and with open source and local commitments. In 2009, it had 100,000 users. In September, November 2009, it was acceptance for signing up began. By May 2010, its official release to the public was announced and released that day. It was built for online real-time collaborative editing on a web-based platform to integrate Gmail and everything else, all the little Google goodies to go with it. It was to be the definitive marriage of communication media through a system that can be synchronous or asynchronous to utilize everything it has. Email, instant messaging, wiki, searching engines, and as well as social networking, anything else they thought of in the future. One of the things they had in mind was potential extension of features and widgets, particularly for Google Docs. Well, at least that's what we know as it now. Back then, it was supposed to be a quick document system, spell check and grammar, editing, photos, video links, so forth. They want to put everything into this one system. And it was quite an ambitious idea at the time for Google. We can see why it failed. It's simply because its design. It was too ambitious. Too much was trying to go on at the same time. Maps, communications, texting, pictures. Heck, you can play chess. I think you can even play with Minefield Virus. Kind of fun. Too bad it didn't last that long. Especially according to John Stokes, deputy editor of Ars Technica. Wave's primary interface sin was that it crammed a multiple window-based desktop metaphor into a single browser window. In other words, Wave was a return to the bad old days of Windows 3.11 style MDI. And that made it ugly and initially confusing for even the savviest of users. Yeah, I can agree with that. Too many things going on at the same time. Too many tabs, an unconventional interface. Hoping that it would progress better. However, it didn't. It was eventually announced for further development to be halted because too much competition at the time. By August 2010, it was announced to be halted. However, they were going to maintain the site for the rest of the year. Luckily, it lasted until 2011, but by November 2011, Wave was interface networking system was shut down and was only left as a read-only site where you could just glance the old glory days of Wave by looking at your old posts, if there were any. It wasn't that popular, but let's be honest. By April 2012, there was a little ray of hope. Development was sold to Apache Software Foundation and was renamed to Apache Wave in a Box. However, no word ever since. They have bought it. They said there were going to be some developments. However, there was no outside public release or beta software or anything. No word ever since. But a little bit earlier back in time, before August 2010, in February 2010, Google Buzz was announced at Google's Mountain View headquarters. It was announced and released that same day. It was a much watered-down system than the original Google Wave. Buzz was an integration to the currently existing Gmail system, and its algorithm allowed it to create social profiles based on your Gmail and input data to emulate social networking social graph platforms such as Facebook and Twitter. Its user interface would be that of Gmail, so you just log in your Gmail. That's it. It was just Buzz was just another tab where you can talk to your friends by instant messaging and other small feats. Here's the image of what Wave looked. Buzz. Sorry, I apologize. Buzz looked at a time, but as you can peek here, we can see the comments where this is going down. Because it used information straight from your Gmail as raw data and text, its design led to security flaws, which led to criticism and eventual legal issues. By October 14, 2011, it was discontinued. In December 15, 2011, Buzz was shut down and replaced by what we have now, Google+. Its new goal was to be faster and a simpler system, an even more watered-down system. Of course, over time, it kept developing more features and so forth, so it's anything but watered down, in my opinion, at this point. The new features now, Google Plus user profile tied to your Gmail account, and it's integrated into any Google partnered system, particularly YouTube. So in other words, to put it simply, if you have a Gmail, you have a Google Plus. You have a YouTube, you have Google Plus. And all your sub features of your user profile would include Google Plus views for your view counts, just like your YouTube view counts and likes. Google badges for your features and achievements, and along with other accessory widgets. Google Plus pages, equivalent to Facebook's pages and blogs, to have followers and private posts without using your direct username. And then for the equivalent of a friending system is Google Circles, which is a drag and drop, picket menu, or a right-click interface, which makes quote-unquote friending or circling acquaintances and friends much easier. So that's a plus on that. The question you're all thinking of is, will it succeed? And why has everything else failed? Well, in my opinion, Google Plus may or may not succeed, or they might transition to another system with a new name, but fundamentally the same thing. Google Plus has lasted for about almost 7 years, so they must be doing something right. And that one thing I'm thinking of that they have done right is marketing. What they failed to do back in Wave and Buzz was that was a marketing failure. There wasn't enough outside spokesmanship. There was no way to combat the huge competition of Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram and so forth. It was just a marketing failure, in my opinion, why Wave and Buzz failed. Plus is even more ambitious than what they had intended for Wave, but not their features, by its implementation. Plus, it's in your face, it's in everything that's associated with Google, especially if you're a YouTuber. That's my presentation. Thank you very much. Here are my sources. Have a wonderful day.